Good morning, everyone. Welcome to, this is Thursday, August 27th, and welcome to Aquatic Science again. Today, before we get started, a few reminders from Vice Principal Barrera as far as some Zoom etiquette. And I would first like to say congratulations to my students. I have not had any issues with y'all, but these have apparently on campus, we have had some issues from our other Broncos. So first, be using your NISD Google account or Gmail account to log into Zoom. Use your correct first and last name when logging in.
You have any computer issues?
I'm doing okay. The only thing, let me pause this. All right, brief pause for tech person to come in and fix some things. All right, so back to our Zoom reminders, make sure you're using your first and last name. This way I can check you on your roster as you're coming in and make sure that only my students are coming in. Some of you have told me you prefer like a nickname. I'm okay with you using your nickname because now I know who you are. Other teachers might not be. And a reminder, all of our Zoom sessions are recorded. And if for some reason you do something bad and I have to remove you from the Zoom meeting, just know your parents will be notified. Again, I would like to say great job. I have not had a problem with any of my students so far this year. All right, on to our agenda. We're going to go through a quick set of ocean notes, look at how to access one of our resources that we'll be using for an assignment on Schoology. It's an multiple choice assignment today. I'm practicing making different types of work in Schoology. And you'll use chapter 1 of Loop, or Life on the Ocean Planet, to complete those questions. Let me exit and switch over to our notes for today. Quick review of oceans. First off, so the important things you need to know are underlined. That being said, some of this stuff I hope you already know. First, here we have some definitions of continents and islands. Continents are large land masses and islands are the smaller. And in case you need a refresher from world geography, here are where the continents are located. One vocabulary term for today, ocean, or a second, or what are we? Continent, island, third. Three vocabulary terms. Here's our third one, is ocean basins. And this describes our global ocean that humans have artificially divided into 5 basins. When we look at our map, our 5 oceans are Arctic, Atlantic, Indian, Pacific, and Southern. There's our oceans in alphabetical order. There are no natural boundaries that entirely separate the ocean basins. The boundaries were decided and officially agreed upon by the United Nations. Here on the map, I've drawn in about where the boundary lines are to the best of my ability. We have the Arctic at the North Pole, Southern at the bottom. In this map view, Atlantic in the middle, Indian, and then the Pacific has been cut in half. And we're not going to worry about those. All right, now we're going to go through our oceans. As we go through them, they are actually organized now from largest to smallest when we're looking at size of their surface area. Here we have the Pacific. It's the largest. It also has the deepest points. On Earth, the Pacific Ocean, if we were to look at it at a globe, well, let me go grab my globe real quick. All right, when you look at the Pacific Ocean on our globe, it covers just about half of our planet. Roughly 46% of the surface area is Pacific Ocean. We also have the deepest point, the Marianas Trench, and the deepest place in Marianas Trench is the Challenger Deep, if you recall from the TED Talk earlier this week. Moving on, our next largest is the Atlantic Ocean. This would be the ocean closest to us. So here we are, Texas, Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean has this S shape, which gives it two distinct basins of circulation, and we start looking at currents. Later on in the year, that circulation will become important. Next is the Indian Ocean. So we've got India, Africa, Australia. This is very important as far as commerce. There are lots of ships carrying oil and petroleum products from the Middle East around Africa. This is also an area of high biodiversity. This region of islands here is called the Indo-Pacific, contains many of the most diverse coral reefs on the planet. Onto the Southern Ocean, surrounding the continent of Antarctica. Its boundary line matches the 60-degree south latitude line. So the equator would be 0 as far as latitudes go, and it increases up to 90. So the South Pole is at 90 degrees south, the North Pole is at 90 degrees north. And so everything between 60 degrees south towards the coast of Antarctica is our Southern Ocean. Also very high productivity. That cold water is very nutrient rich. Lots of feeding grounds for whales. They feed off of krill, which produce there quite quickly and in large numbers. Our last ocean then is the Arctic Ocean. The central portion of the Arctic Ocean, we can look down here in these images, is permanently covered by ice, at least for now. With climate change, the amount of ice during the summer and winter is shrinking. The amount of ice, though, does also change seasonally. There's less ice in the summer and more ice in the winter. But scientists concerned with climate change are seeing how there is less and less ice every year. With increasingly, we are going to be coming very soon, most likely within the next decade, that there will not be ice covering the entire Arctic during the summertime. All right. That is it for our oceans. Let's go take a look now on Schoology at some of our resources. So from your class page, here on resources, yesterday we used Texas Aquatic Science. Today we're going to be using Life on the Ocean Planet, or as I like to refer to it as LOOP. There is a web link. This web link is Flash-based. It tends to not run well on tablet devices or iPads. If you do choose to use the website, you'll come first to this page here. It starts off with teacher materials. Keep scrolling and you can get to the student textbook. The textbook on this page is broken up by unit. We're using chapter 1 today, so you would need to open up unit 1. Unit 1 will open. It'll first look like this. This does take a while to load. Patience is a virtue. And then it flips through so it feels a little bit more like a real book. And today's questions on your assignment should go in order through the book. I say should. I intended for them to be in order. I hope I set up your Schoology assignment correct. Your other option, back to Schoology. If you have an iPad or if the website is just not working for you, if we scroll down to the bottom, there is a PDF file attached. If you click on this, it'll have you download it. I recommend downloading this PDF once and remembering where you saved it so that you can refer back to this book all year. Let's take a look at our PDF. I already have it downloaded. So if we come up here to the front, it does say Florida edition. Don't worry about that. The only difference between the Florida edition and our textbook is it doesn't say Florida edition on the front. But you do have this nice little bookmark here on the side that you can use. If that's closed, if you click on this blue bookmark tab, it'll open up. That way you can click directly on chapter 1. And from here you can scroll through to find the information. I like to point out this textbook has a unique page numbering system. The page number we see down here 1-3. This means that we are in chapter 1 and on page 3 of chapter 1. So later in the year, say we were using chapter 5, you're going to find a page that says 5-1, the first page of chapter 5. Today, though, again, your questions are chapter 1. Let's go take a look at your assignment. Back to Schoology. Again, the assignment is here on the side, or we can find it Thursday, chapter 1. You'll open this up and there will be 18 multiple choice questions, and it should give you 2 attempts if you want to go back and try again. That is it for today as far as notes and materials go. Make sure you get those chapter 1 questions done. Tomorrow, come back, join us live for Zoom. We're going to be playing some trivia and having a little bit of fun this Friday. All right. Hope to see everybody tomorrow.